It's finally happening. Borderlands, the OG of the looter shooters, is returning with another game and is coming out a lot sooner than I, or anyone else for that matter, have expected. Now I cannot wait to share more details about this game. I'm going to talk about the story, the intriguing characters, and just how much they're expanding the game overall. I cannot wait to talk about it. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited, as is probably everyone else who's watching this video. Now Borderlands is one of my favorite games in the looter shooter genre, so it may seem like I might be a little bit biased, but I promise you that will not be the case. I will always review the game I'm playing currently, not the games that came before it. You're watching Sons of the Abyss Gaming, and I hope you enjoy the video. It's no surprise at all to hear information of a Borderlands 3. Randy Pitchford, actually the CEO of Gearbox Studios, the developers behind Borderlands, have been teasing for a while that the game was coming, and even actually released a really well done and creative teaser trailer, in which I do actually recommend you go watch it out. I'll link it in the description. But he also tweeted out a picture basically verifying that Gearbox will be announcing Borderlands 3 at Pax East, which they did in fact do via live streams from varying content creators. And even though it had its awkward moments, kind of like E3, people still came out of the conference with pretty high praises. I myself watched the entire live stream, and it was, well, entertaining to say the least, and I'll also link that in the description, as well as the announcement trailer. I do recommend you go watch everything I link. They are all interesting. But now that you're up to speed, we can move on to more pressing and interesting details about this seemingly awesome game. Borderlands 3 will release September 13th of this year, and it releases on PS4, Xbox One, and will be an Epic Game Store exclusive on PC until about 6 months, and then it will release on other PC platforms. First, I want to touch on the characters you'll be playing as and what exactly their abilities might be. Now, if you don't know what Borderlands is, well, in short, it's a looter shooter that focuses on very satisfying progression, really addicting gameplay with a good and funny story sprinkled on there. Now, this time around, it seems more effort is being placed into the playable characters, of which there are 4. Now, as of now at least, it can change with DLC. Now, let's start with the one that I think might interest players the most. Flak, the Beastmaster. Flak is a new type of character for the Borderlands series and should put an interesting spin on the gameplay. He's actually able to control pets, which I think they actually built the AI just for this character, and he just really seems interesting, and I can't wait to try him. Now, he also has a real creative design that I just appeal with, that cyborgish type of look to him. I just really like it. But all we really know about him is the fact that he can control different pets of his choice, of which will each have their own special ability, which I'm sure you can only have one of these pets at a time. Now, in my opinion, he seems like he'll be a mid-range type of fighter, but knowing Borderlands, you can adjust to however your playstyle is, because they allow you to play however the hell you want. Now let's discuss the assassin-like class for Borderlands 3. He can be compared most to Zero from Borderlands 2. I'm of course talking about Zane, the operative. Now, like the rest of the characters, we know very little about the full capabilities of Zane, but what we do know is that he is very similar to Zero, as in he has an ability very similar that allows him to throw out a decoy, which can confuse enemies and probably draw some fire. But it seems Zane isn't just a copycat. Oh no, he may have some unique abilities of his own, one of which we know to be a drone that follows and helps you in combat. Now, I really like Zero, so I have a feeling I'm gonna love playing as Borderlands' version of a hitman. The next Vault Hunter I want to talk about is no other than Moes, the Gunner. The ability to summon down your own personal mech, the Iron Bear, puts this soldier class in a league of her very own. And personally, I can't imagine how fun this character will be to try out. It seems she's actually very mobile for a soldier, and she even allows her teammates to ride and use her trusting companion, the Iron Bear, which is a really smart mechanic that should offer some very interesting gameplay. Our final character, one I particularly like a lot, is the Siren class of the game, the one, the only, Amara, which is a name I obviously like. Now, she seems to be a melee type of class, which is kind of weird since the last 2 Sirens in previous titles were actually mages, but she does seem like she might have a little bit of magic utilities to her, since she does have mystical arms, 6 of them to be specific, and you can summon these arms. I'm guessing this is her special ability. You can summon these arms to smash the hell out of your enemies. She seems like she's going to be very fun to use, and is probably going to be the first class I'm going to pick to play with. I'm going to play with all classes for sure, no doubt, but she might be the first one I try out. While we are on the topic of characters, let's go ahead and take a look at the villains for the game, the Calypso Twins, which they actually seem to be sirens themselves. Now you can tell this by the male's tattoo. The red tattoo the male has, it's actually a sign that he's a siren, which I believe his name is actually Troy. And the female is known as Tyrene, and honestly, I like the look Gearbox decided to go with. I really want to know more about these villains. They actually intrigue me. I want to know, why is this guy all mech'd out? Why is he missing his arms and limbs? I'm very interested in these characters. I'm sure Gearbox is going to do justice to these villains. It's going to be hard to compare to Borderlands 2 villain Handsome Jack, because he was just the perfect villain in any game whatsoever, in my opinion. He is the best villain I've seen. But anyways, enough about Handsome Jack. I believe these twins might actually be able to give him a run for his money. I really want to know more about these evil twins and how exactly they fit into the story. Speaking of the story, let's talk about the mere scope that is Borderlands 3. Now, as hinted in the trailers, Borderlands 3 will have multiple worlds. Yes, you heard me right. Multiple worlds to travel to and explore, which just sounds insane. And it seems that there will be even greater enemy and location variety, which is crazy. And if that doesn't make you excited, well, I don't know what else will. Wait. Actually, I do. Guns with legs. Yes, I know it sounds a little ridiculous, but it seems Borderlands, apparently, they're stepping up their game and getting more creative with their weapon variety. One example of this is the gun with legs. Now, this gun with legs, you can place them down and it hunts down enemies. This was shown in the trailer, and this is only one of the many new weapon types that will be in the game. It kind of left me speechless, if I'm being honest, when I saw all the new mechanics and just wacky weapons that we're going to be seeing in the game. It's going to be crazy. Now, it goes without saying, I am so excited to play with all these new weapon types and all these new ideas Gearbox is coming up with for this franchise. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments below. Do you play Borderlands, or have you never played it? Are you waiting for Borderlands 3 just like me? Are you excited as me? Go ahead and talk to me in the comments below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on with the video. Now, before we finish this video, I want to go ahead and talk about the graphics. More specifically, I want to talk about the people who are saying the game doesn't look as good as they expected, and they were kind of disappointed by the trailers. Well, first off, we didn't really get a good look at the game's graphics. We just got glimpses, flashes, a little montage. We have seen nothing. There's so much to this game that we're going to be blown away in ways we can't expect. I can already tell. One example of this is the big neon city we saw in the trailer. This place looks incredible. This is totally new to Borderlands, and even the forest-looking location looks great. Everything has a certain big scale to it. Everything seems bigger. So there are multiple planets, it seems, and I cannot wait to explore them. Obviously, saying that I'm excited to explore this game is an understatement. I am crazy excited to see everything this game has to offer, because I know they're going above and beyond to beat their sequel. A lot of people are saying the Borderlands 2, this isn't an upgrade. Well, in my opinion, it is. You're traveling to different worlds. They're expanding the game. That is the definition of a sequel. Expanding the game with better mechanics and new things to do. That's what they did. This is a sequel to Borderlands 2. It's not a 2.5 or any of that bullshit. This is an official sequel, obviously. This game looks fantastic, and anyone who thinks it doesn't isn't really a fan. They're just trying to join the bad hype train that everyone gets on when these type of games gets announced. Now, they're right to have that opinion. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not right to have that opinion. That is completely their opinion to have. But let's go ahead and move on. My overall opinion of these teaser trailers are very positive, if you couldn't tell. Now, don't get me wrong. If the game releases in a bad state, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll come out with an honest video explaining what happened and what kind of things just make the game shit. But I highly doubt this will happen. I highly doubt it. And I 100% recommend you keep an eye on this title, because they are actually planning to share more info in May, and probably some gameplay, some actual gameplay, which everyone is waiting to see. And then we can actually tell how upgraded this game will actually be. So I can't wait to get into this. I have other projects planned. I'm diving very deep into the Division 2, for example. I'm having so much fun. I will be doing a lot of content extensively over that game. I'm also going to go over No Man's Sky's newest establishments. They're coming out with a full VR mode, which is crazy, and all kinds of new updates. It's called No Man's Sky Beyond, and I cannot wait to touch about those games in later videos, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to check out that new content. Anyways, I'm really glad you guys watched the video. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments below. You're a real one. Let's get out of here. I'm Sons of the Bitch Gaming. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit cards and the scammers, hitting the licks in the van. Legacies,